Okay. Hello everybody. I hope you're all okay, and I hope you're all having lots of fun and being very good. And I know my three are fighting today. That's fine. So they might come in at some point crying. We'll see how we go. Okay, so what I need you to have in front of you before you start this is your SPAG worksheet that was set this week. So I think it says SPAG Mat 3. And I'm going to be pretty much working from the second one. I think the first one is lemon and herb, and then the second one's just a bit easier. There's not much difference between the second and the third one. But we're going to be working from pretty much the second one. I don't have it in front of me. So I'm going to have to try and remember what's on there. So the first thing I thought I'd go through with you is some spelling tips, because I know some of you really struggle with the spellings, and there's a little spelling section on there. So let me go through what I use to help me remember some tricky words. So I think I've said to you before about mnemonics, and Miss Ramsey's probably told you about mnemonics, and that is it's a sort of a phrase, or it could be like a little song or something, with the first letter of each in the word said out in a phrase that can help you remember. So let me be clearer. The word because, I use big elephants can always understand small elephants, and the first letter of each of those words spells out because. Big elephants can always understand small elephants. Okay. The word necessary, that's always a difficult one. And I say never eat cod, eat smoked salmon and remain young. That's necessary. You've probably heard these because teachers like to use these things all the time. I certainly didn't make these up, but it's things that I use to help me. Another one is rhythm, which I think I said on a video before. So rhythm helps your two hips move, and that's how you spell rhythm. Now that's a full mnemonic. You can also use sort of partial mnemonics. So for example, the word accommodation, I always struggle to remember. Oh, the boys are screaming, but it's all right. I think they're playing. The word accommodation. If you think of, accommodation like a hotel room, in your accommodation room you might have two cots, and two mattresses, because that's how you spell accommodation. Okay, two C's and two M's. Two cots and two mattresses in your accommodation. Okay. Another word like address, you remember that it's got two D's because you add your address to the list, or whatever it might be. Add your address. There's another word that I've got here. Now I need to clean my whiteboard because I've been doing some work. You have to name that film. Okay, so for example, let me see if you can see my whiteboard. I hope this is coming out okay for you. Not sure what that was. The word occasion, and I always really struggled to remember how to spell occasion. Now this is a hard word. This is sort of upper key stage 2, but there's no harm in trying to learn it now. So one of the boys that I used to teach, who was in year 6, and I was like, I can't remember how to spell occasion. And he said, Miss, I've got a really good one. So you start with your O, and if it's a special occasion, maybe somebody's got engaged to be married. So they have a ring. So I'm going to draw my blingy ring. Okay, there's my ring. O for occasion. And then you cut that in half, and you've got double C. You've got two C's to make up your O. C, back to front like that. Okay. And then if I get my C, and then I put my other C underneath it backwards like that, I've got one S. So occasion. shun. Now that's my suffix. I might be able to go through those with you another time, but we won't get onto the shuns today. So that's how you spell occasion. It's like a little story to help you remember. The other word sometimes I think is hard to remember is separate, because when we say it, it sounds like we're saying separate, but we're not. We're actually saying rate. Okay, so I think to myself, well, there is a rat. There is a rat in separate. That's what I say when I'm writing it. There is a rat in separate, even though it sounds like separ. It's separate. So that's another way we can remember, by making up little stories, thinking about other words that fit into it. Okay, I've written lots down here. So other words we might struggle to spell. Like I say, we break it down. So for example, Wednesday, it's hard to hear all the sounds in Wednesday. And when I was your age, and still now that I'm 21, I always say Wednesday. Obviously we don't say that. We sound really silly if someone said, oh, what day is it today? And we'd say, oh, it's Wednesday. But that's how I say it in my head when I'm writing it, to help me remember. Wednesday. Break it down. Wednesday. Same with maybe something like, cupboard, because we don't hear we don't say cupboard, do we? But I break it down, cupboard, and that's a really easy one because we put our cups in the cupboard. Okay, so it's just little things that you can do to help you remember. Now, on the sheet, I can't remember exactly what it is. It's something like, it's something like, I struggle to remember special dates. That's why I accidentally forgot my mum's birthday. There's a sentence like that, isn't there? It's similar to that. So with remember, put a little story into it. So remember, break the word down. Remember your membership card. Maybe for the library or for the gym or something like that. Remember your membership card. That's one that can help you remember how to spell remember. Special. I was thinking about special because obviously special is the way that they spelt it on the sheet. That's how we say it, with the sh sound in the middle. But it's C-I-A-L. That's what's making that sh sound. So I thought of the word special, and I thought, I'm going to break this down. And I got the middle letters, the 4 middle letters, and I thought, it's a special occasion. There's going to be cake. So I thought Emma's cake is, sorry about my writing. I'm writing at a funny angle. Amazing. Emma's cake is amazing. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Okay. Emma's cake is amazing. Emma's cake is amazing. Okay. So that's another thing that you could use. The thing with the spellings is really you have to pick a method that works for you, and there's so many different things that you can do to help you. There's no one thing, but if you know that you're struggling, like I said with the word Wednesday, I always struggle to spell it, so I just made that up, Wednesday. I know lots of people do it. It's not, I didn't make it up myself, but you know that's what we kind of have to do with our spellings. Accidentally is also on there, and I was thinking about accidentally, and I thought, okay, well, it's got alley at the end, and there's lots of different ways of spelling alley. So I thought to myself, well, it's A double L and then Y. So I thought, well, we all have accidents. And then comma, yes for you. We all have accidents. Yes. So that's something that I just thought you could use to help you remember how to spell accidentally. Right, so is this 10 minutes long, this video now? And I don't want to go on for too long. What I thought I should really draw your attention to on that sheet, and I think that we were having a conversation at some of the mums yesterday, and Marianne has picked out that actually it's asking you to put in the prefixes, try, I think, and telly, something like that. But actually what it's asking you to do is make it into plurals. So there are some rules. So don't get confused. Prefix comes before the word, and plurals is making something from singular into plural, one thing into more than one thing. There's quite a lot of rules with plurals. So if you need to have a break, stop the video now. I'm going to carry on. I'm going to go through some of the rules with plurals, and then I'll probably do another separate video on prefixes and suffixes, because there's quite a lot. Well, so much. So if you want to have a little break, pause it now and we'll come back. So hello, welcome back. So there's lots of rules with plurals. Some of the words that you have, you just add S. So for example, kid becomes kids, jumper, jumpers, book, books, pencil, pencils, all those sort of things. You just add S. Now you have to pay attention to the endings of words when it gets a bit more complicated. Rule 2, number 2. If words end in S, sh, ch, or x, then you add ex. So church becomes churches. Bush becomes bushes. Fox, we've got loads of foxes. Got loads of foxes in our garden at the moment. Bus becomes buses. There's loads and loads. So in your own time, you can maybe be thinking of other words if they end in ch, s, sh, or x. You add es. Okay. Rule 3. If a word ends in a consonant and a y, then you take off the y and you add ies. So a consonant is a letter in the alphabet that's not one of the vowels. The vowels are A, E, I, O, U. All the other letters are consonants. So if a letter ends in a consonant and a y, you take off the y and add ies. For example, puppy becomes puppies. Baby becomes babies, because it's a b-y, so you take off the y and add ies. Butterfly becomes butterflies. Butterfly, l-y, take off the y, add ies. There's so many words. So again, you can be thinking about these. Words that end in a consonant and a y, you take off the y, add ies. Rule 4. If a word ends in a vowel and a y, so that's A, E, I, O, U, you just add S. So monkey becomes monkeys. Key becomes keys. Donkey becomes donkeys. Day, Tuesday, today is Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah, all those words, if they've got a vowel and a y, you just add S. Rule 5, there are 6 rules, so we're on 5. If a word ends in an F or a FE, then you get rid of the F and add a V. You add a V, or VES, I should say, add a VES. So, knife, Knife. Take off the FE and add VES, knives. Wolf becomes wolves. Leaf becomes leaves. So again, have a little think. What words can you think of that end in F or FE? Take off the F and the E and add VES. Okay, last one. Rule 6. Some words completely change. Child becomes children. Tooth becomes teeth. Foot becomes feet. Person becomes people. So some words completely change. So I wonder if you can think of any more of those as well. So that's the end of that now. I've gone through some ways to help you with your spelling and some plurals. So have a look at the little plurals bit that's on that sheet. I think it's in the top right hand corner of the sheet. See if any of the rules that I've talked about apply to those words, and make those words from singular to plural, and then have a go at some of your own. It won't take long, a few minutes, or don't. I don't care. I'm not going to check. Okay, and enjoy, and I hope you have found this helpful, and take care, and I'll speak to you soon.